All right, we're going to get started now. I'm going to see if I can put a face with a name here. See if I can do that. I don't see myself. Where am I? Let me see here. Can you guys see me? Anyway, that was a nice try. But yeah, if you guys can see me, great. I'm Andrew Bermudez. I'm co-founder and CEO of Digsy AI. We make it really easy for salespeople to create new sales opportunities. So think of us as a really lightweight and powerful way for you guys to prospect, generate new sales opportunities that you can pursue. So a lot of the problems we have with CRM, we basically eliminate data entry. So all your emails get logged, all of your voice calls, you're able to quickly log and prioritize your contacts, and you're able to get the contacts into the system by just snapping a picture of a business card or importing a list of contacts very easily. We can also import your contacts from your email, and we integrate directly with Office 365, Exchange, Gmail, G Suite, and if you have a Yahoo email address, etc. So this isn't the purpose of this meeting. What we want to do is we want to be able to show you guys some of the tools that we use internally that we absolutely love and that we hope can actually help your business as well. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to pull up the presentation right here. And just a little background myself. I'm co-founder and CEO of Digsy. We started Digsy AI late last year. We have big companies using it, anywhere from people who are in financial services, insurance, real estate, commercial real estate, software, you name it. And I already told what Digsy AI does. My background, since '99, I've been in sales, especially commercial real estate sales. I was a partner and senior vice president at Lee and Associates in Irvine, California. I did very well there. I cheated the whole time. I actually was a self-taught programmer back in the day, and I developed a lot of internal software to make me more efficient, and that really did pay off. So some of the things we're going to talk about today, basically here's the overview. We want to make it really easy for salespeople to achieve their goals, and we've put together a list of 7 tools that make this very easy. It's all about being efficient, but more importantly, effective. And one of the things is being able to easily book meetings with prospects, streamline your email communication, then also easily stay on top of important emails. As we know, we all get tons of emails. Also being able to easily track and execute to-do items, find important documents. We're all guilty of going through our hard drive trying to find that one contract that we wish we could just type in a keyword and find, and then making it easier to talk amongst ourselves in the company, so an internal team, and then learning resources so we can improve our sales game on the go. So with that being said, I'm going to just quickly see if anybody has questions or we have any issues. Can everybody hear me okay? Can somebody in the chat let me know if they can hear me, please? I love the message. So here we go. If one of you can just let me know that you can hear me so I can get started on this. All right, so I'll get started unless anybody has any. If anybody's having issues hearing me, please put it in the chat right here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to jump right ahead. And one thing we want to talk about is easily booking meetings with prospects. In sales, we spend a lot of time talking with prospects, trying to get them to meet with us face to face, or meet us at a Starbucks or in their prospect or at their office. And it's very important not to get into that awful loop of saying, hey, Mr. Prospect, does time A or time B work? And then they're replying going, no, that doesn't work. And then they have to check their calendar, etc. So there's a really neat tool called Calendly. And what Calendly lets you do is it allows your prospects to see limited information, just availability slots in your calendar in real time. So if, let's say, they're looking at a time and that they want to pick, but somebody else just happens to book it, that will erase. You can also set preferences in the calendar saying, hey, I never want meetings in the morning between 6 and 10 a.m., et cetera, et cetera. So it does that for you as well. And the most important thing is that you got to keep in mind that the industry statistic for the U.S. right now is about 66% of emails are now read on mobile. So can you imagine sending a prospect an email saying, hey, can you meet Tuesday or Wednesday next week, and then they have to go out of that application, go into their calendar, see if that works, and say, no, that doesn't work, and then go back in their calendar and think about what times work for them. Calendly makes it very easy for you not to have to do that. So for example, I'll give you an example of that, and it actually works with Outlook, Office 365, and Google Calendar. So what Calendly allows you to do, and I'll show you my screen here, is it allows you to just quickly create a Calendly link like this that you can save. And when people visit that Calendly, you can send a link, like I'll send myself a link right now that says, hey, Andrew, I'll just send it to Andrew at Digsy AI. Let's book a meeting. Pick a time that works for you here. And then I can just go like this and send it, and I can send it to myself, right? So they should arrive in a few moments. There it is. So I can click that link. Let's say I'm the prospect. As opposed to going to my phone and comparing notes and comparing my calendar, I can just go here and say, you know what, let's go and book a meeting with Andrew. And let's say, okay, let's do it this Friday or next Friday. And my preference is I don't want any meetings before until 9:30 a.m. on certain days. So I can actually just pick it right here and click confirm, and then I can put my name, I can put my email address, what number I can call them at, and then any other information. You can customize these fields, and then when you schedule the event, it'll actually create, let me see if I can show you. So I can just click here, and then I can just quickly add it to my calendar. And then what that does is it automatically books a meeting on my calendar. It notifies me via email that I've gotten an appointment with a person, and I should be getting, for example, right here, Calendly, right? I have a meeting on Friday, the 28th. I can go to my calendar and see that meeting on the 28th. As soon as I refresh this, it should be coming up here momentarily. So it takes a little bit, not too long to sync, but you kind of get the gist. So that makes it very easy for you to book meetings with prospects. So you can go to Calendly. We're going to be doing a video after this recording with links to all of these things, and that way you just have one master sheet of all the tools we're presenting. So it's very important to not go back and forth with prospect. Meetings equals deals, so trying to get them to commit to a time right away in a convenient fashion that works on mobile and works there. That Calendly works on mobile a lot as well, by the way. So I want to be able to show you that. So for example, if I shrink my screen, you get to see that it actually works on mobile very well. So that's very powerful. We've used it, and it's definitely increased our sales booking throughput. So another email communication tool is Mixmax. And a lot of us spend a lot of time typing emails repetitively, or emails that we say the same things in certain areas, but we can modify certain other areas. Like, for example, hey, Bob, it was nice to meet you at, let's say, the liquor store, or the function, or at the fundraiser, and things like that. And also, trying to email people at a specific time, it makes it really hard as well. So there's a tool called Mixmax that allows you to create email templates, stop writing repetitive emails. You can create an email now and tell it to send at a later time, and you can also get notified when somebody reads your email. So I won't go into giving you a demo of that, but what we can do is we can actually just show you what Mixmax does, and you can check them out on your own at mixmax.com. And it is a little widget that goes into your Google Chrome. And I'm going to show you here's, for example, when people open your email, pretty powerful stuff. And then it also works in scheduling meetings, but you're actually suggesting times. It's not like Calendly, where you're letting people see your real-time availability and allow you to book you with a few clicks. So there is a big difference. And then here's, for example, the email templates. So you can actually just create templates, select them. You can have videos, you can have graphics embedded. It's really powerful stuff. So that can actually help you remove a lot of the back and forth on trying to do repetitive emails and things like that. So go ahead and check them out. There are other tools out there too. but we've had good experience with Mixmax. Now, a tool that most people know about, but some don't know about, is SaneBox. And SaneBox is something that I've been using now for about 3 years. And a lot of other people use it. For example, I know Tony Robbins, who everybody admires, the self-development speaker, uses SaneBox. And I believe Mark Cuban does as well. So what it does is it helps you stay on top of important emails and gets the irrelevant emails out of the way. So if you look at, based on different studies, there's been studies that say, hey, only 38% of your emails are important, but they're dragging you down. There's also other areas that say that about 30 hours a week are spent on email, checking email, and that's not only during business hours, but after hours. And we're all guilty of checking our phones in the morning, at night, when we wake up, when we go to sleep, and we're having lunch, etc. So it's not unbelievable that we're spending that much time checking email. But it keeps unimportant emails out of your inbox. It reminds you when somebody that is important needs to get back with you, so that way you don't have to make a note or jot it down on another to-do list and then remember to go back to that to-do list. It'll remind you when somebody hasn't emailed you back or replied. You can actually defer and snooze emails. You can also customize those snooze and different functions. Also, they're offering us a $15 credit if we use that link, which I'll give you guys in the at the bottom of the recording when we send it out to you. So I want to show you how I use SaneBox. So for example, SaneBox is really powerful. I have some emails right now, for example, here, right? So there we go. We got the thing from Calendly. So for example, here, I've got a couple emails from a couple people. Let's say, for example, WordPress is not something that I want to look at right now. I've actually, because of SaneBox, I have this email, and this works on Outlook, by the way, too, guys, so it doesn't have to be Gmail. I can actually drag and drop it into, I'm going to try this again. Okay, drag and drop it into Sane Tomorrow. And what that'll do is it gets that email out of the way. I can't get to today, but I want to review it tomorrow morning. It'll put it back into my inbox tomorrow morning so I can pay attention to it. So it keeps my inbox clean. It does that. Now, the other really cool thing is with that, I can actually do some things like I can email, let's say, Patrick. And I can say, Patrick, I'm doing a SaneBox demo. Don't reply. So I can say, hello. And what I can do say with SaneBox, it gives you all of this other functionality. I can actually BCC this, and I can say 3 days at SaneBox. And then when I send this, what SaneBox will do is if Patrick does not reply to me in 3 days, SaneBox is going to bring back this email into my inbox and have a note that says, hey, you need to follow up with this person. It's really powerful stuff. It's like automating a lot of rules, but I can just quickly manage my email by moving them into folders that have been designated or that I've created in SaneBox to easily manage my email, get it out of the way, automatically remind me of people that need to follow up with me. And I can do 7 days, 1 month, 1 year, etc. Pretty powerful stuff. I absolutely love it, but it works with Outlook, which is great. It integrates with Outlook, any email provider, pretty much. So you should definitely check them out. It's really changed my life. What it does also, I should probably say, is all the emails that aren't important go into this section called Sane Later, which I can check on a daily basis. And it gives me also a summary at the end of the day that shows me, hey, what emails were sent later. And yeah, I'm looking at all of these, and these are emails I really don't want to see. So what it's doing is it's actually getting rid of all those emails out of my inbox and automatically putting them there so I can check them later. That way I can stay focused on just working and making sure that I'm booking meetings, touching as many prospects as possible, going out to demos and things like that. Next up is how to easily and track to-do items. Now, this is an interesting thing. We all have CRMs, and we all have some sort of task function in them. We have task functions in Outlook. But somebody that does it really, really well and making it really easy to just have one central application for your personal life and also your business life is Todoist. One thing I absolutely love about them is they're cross-platform, so it works on Windows, works on Mac, works on Android, works on iOS. It even works on the web. They have a website for it. I can quickly enter to-dos with a shortcut. So I'll show you this. I'll show you what Todoist looks like. Let's see if I can summon Todoist. So for example, here we have a couple things, right? Todoist makes it really easy for me to add something. Like let's say, for example, I have a shortcut on my desktop, and I can actually just summon this little box, and I can say, remind people that sales success stories is the best sales podcast, right? And I can say tomorrow. So I just do that, and it actually just does tomorrow. It's automatically going to remind me tomorrow about this to do. And here's what I can do. Now that I've done that, I can go to my inbox, and at the very bottom, I see that, hey, remind people a sales success story is the best podcast, and it says tomorrow. If I go to the next 7 days, and I go to tomorrow, automatically does that. It didn't take me clicking, anything like that. Their shortcuts to enter to-dos are just so great. Also, there's things like, for example, like this, schedule a meeting with this one, right? This is either just kind of like fake to-dos, but I can actually go here and I can quickly say, okay, remind me tomorrow. And I can also collaborate with individuals. So I can actually go here and I can add comments to it. I can add comments. I can actually collaborate and share this with a team member if I want. I can create subtasks. I can add attachments. So if I want to drag something, let's say from my Dropbox, let's say I want to pull something from my computer, I can just, add this one which says I love sales, and just quickly add it to that, and there we go. So it's really, really cool. Makes a lot of sense. In the morning, you get a very nice email that shows you all you have to do today, and it just makes it really easy for you to execute on the phone. They also have swipe gestures, which means that, hey, if I look at a certain to-do, I can go ahead and swipe it, and it'll give me, hey, do you want to reschedule this for tomorrow, for next week, for this or that? Really powerful stuff. The other thing, too, that I can do is I can actually forward an email to Todoist. They give you a specific email address. So let's say, for example, my attorney has sent me documents that I need to review and things like that. I can actually just quickly send this, and it takes a few minutes. I'm not sure how quick it's going to be on our end, but it'll actually forward it to my inbox. It should show up here in a little bit. So we'll keep an eye out on that because I want to keep the presentation moving forward. All right. So the other thing too is Evernote. It's unbelievable how powerful Evernote is. And it's funny, I make a joke that it's the most misunderstood elephant that saves us a lot of time. And people think of Evernote as a notes app. So they go, hey, I've got Google Keep on my Android, or Notes on my Android, or I've got the Notes app on my iPhone. Why should I use Evernote? Well, the interesting thing about Evernote, it's that you can create not only documents, but you can quickly write the document and then publicly share a link with somebody. So if you're just sending somebody a note, or let's say you're sending marketing copy, or you're sending anything, any changes, you can actually annotate a PDF in Evernote and quickly send it to somebody. What you can also do is when you drop a PDF, a Word, Excel, or an image in it, Evernote actually performs really robust OCR, and I actually have used the OCR in Google Drive and other systems, and Evernote's just unparalleled. So I can drop basically a file in there, and then what it'll do is Evernote will allow me to find it. So for example, when I used to do commercial real estate, I used to have a lot of leases, and then I'd have a client call me and say, hey, I need to find my lease for this other property. Now I've got 5 folders for that client, and I need to find the specific building or address of that. And you spend a lot of time doing that, and it really sucks. I kind of messed up my presentation here. There we go. But for example, what we can do with Evernote is I've dropped a lease document, right? And I can actually just say something like Connectifier. And what it'll do is it'll actually find things with Connectifier in it. So it'll find things like this. If I want to say, for example, let's use a keyword like holdover, right? I can actually get outside of this, and let's say I'm in my inbox. I'm not anywhere. I can say, regardless of what folder it's in or notebook, whatever you want to call it, you can say holdover, and it'll actually find the document with holdover on it. It's pretty cool. So as you can see, like it can even like highlight where this section is in holdover. So what I do is I still keep documents in my hard drive. I still keep them in the client folder, etc. But I drop a copy of them into Evernote. And I drop a copy into Evernote simply because I know that whatever I drop there, whether it's a copy of a receipt, I do keep my receipts in there, especially my business receipts. And I'm able to take a picture of the receipt with my iPhone or my smartphone. But I'm able to not have to worry so much about organizing, but I can actually quickly find the information I want. And for $70 a year, which is less than $7 a month, that's definitely worth my time. So it's really easy to do that. For internal communication, I've seen a lot of organizations move into Slack. A lot of you are probably familiar with Slack. But for those of you who aren't, it's a really good way to eliminate email and email overload and keep communication centralized, where you can see the whole thread of the communication. Kind of like imagine a mixture of like Twitter and instant message for the enterprise. So we can attach files like images, Word documents, PDFs, presentations, spreadsheets, and comment around them. And we can see the whole context as opposed to having to go through tons and tons of emails that have some information here but not information there. It allows us to do that. And we can also search by any keyword. We can also keep the conversations focused by creating what they call a channel, which is basically a topic. So for example, I'm going to show you our team's Slack. Let me pull it up. That's my team. You can even customize these things. They always make fun of me because when a song I like plays, they know what it is. So for example, I've got here, so our stand-up meetings go there. You can favorite channels, like for example, my co-founder, Alex, him and I talk all the time. So I can quickly message him and see all of our conversations, see links of like things that have been published about us and different things here. I can also go into, they've got integrations. So like, for example, you can integrate Twitter. So instead of checking your Twitter all the time, you can go here and you can see all the mentions, that teams have, that somebody has mentioned. For example, here, the broker list has mentioned about us, Sanebox mentioned about us as well. So it's pretty cool. So for example, I can go into product and I can see the whole thing that we're working on right now. So yesterday, Alex showed us our automatic call tracking feature in our system, so you don't have to manually enter that you called a prospect or etc. We're working on that, so we get the comments from Scott, Patrick. I can comment there. We can even like do cute things like follow up. I can include a note from Evernote. I had to give them a list of templates to see the system with. So I just created the thing on Evernote and then shared a public link. And then as opposed to creating a Google Doc and adding people to share it with, I can just create an Evernote and share a public link. And then, for example, they can see this and just copy and paste stuff. So it's pretty powerful. That's another example of how to use Evernote. But we can basically take a look at all this stuff here. So that gives you an example. I can also like talk with somebody like Sarah on my team. I can say, hi, Sarah. So she's working on our YouTube videos and things like that. I can start a message. I can start a message so I can go back to it. So these are all the started messages that I'm basically earmarking so that I can get back to them today. So that gives you an idea of Slack. What I can also do is I can filter by things like images. I can filter by different things. So it doesn't really matter. So include at mentions, all that. I mean, I could go on and on, but if you just go to slack.com, you'll be able to see it. It's a great way to eliminate email and quickly talk to your team, and it works on mobile, which is great. So we can all communicate on the same thing, keep track of the conversation and the context of a specific project. So a channel can be a topic or it can be a project. So let's say if we open up a deal that's called the Kensington Memorial deal, we can have Kensington Memorial as a channel, and then everything regarding that topic goes in there. Pretty cool. They are one of the fastest growing enterprise technology companies, and due to the design and how easy it is to use, is great. So we're going to have questions right after this. And I want to just share one thing is, in order to improve in sales, I mean, and I've learned this a lot through, top sales performers that have shared their wisdom with me. They're always learning, and they're always learning from the top salespeople. They're always asking their network. They're always reading books. But it's hard to do that when we're so busy. So Overcast is a really easy to use podcast application. I've used a lot of them. Overcast is just fantastic. I would say it's fantacular, simply because it makes it really easy to find a podcast, subscribe to it. It automatically gets the latest episodes, and you can literally turn your car, your downtime into a classroom. So you can be at the gym and be able to learn, and you can find topics that you're interested and passionate about. Like, for example, try to find thought leaders in your industry and subscribing to their podcasts where they're interviewing, people who are doing well. One of my favorite ones is Sales Success Stories, and I actually did an interview with Scott Ingram, who's the host of the Sales Success Stories, and I'll be linking the interview at the bottom here of when we record the video. But he interviews, unlike other podcasts or thought leaders, where they go out and they basically speak directly to and try to coach the sales leader, the VP of sales, etc. He's actually interviewing the individual contributor and the top 1% of those individuals in sales that are just crushing it. And he basically finds out how and why. The interview that I'll be linking at the end of this video when we send it out will share with you what the common characteristics are across all of the tons of interviews he's done with salespeople, so that you can keep that in mind. It's got some very, very interesting stuff. So highly recommend you check him out. You can go to Top One FM, and this isn't a plug for him, but I listen to this podcast every time. So for example, I'm bummed out right now because I've listened to all the podcasts already, and I can't wait for his next topic. But I've gotten so many ideas from salespeople, from anything as simple as being able to, if somebody's not responding to you, hounding them on Twitter and getting a meeting that way. It's pretty cool. So with that, I hope we went fast enough because we want to be sensitive of all of your time, and I wanted to see if anybody had any questions. And if you guys do have questions, please go ahead and ask the questions in the tab here. Okay, cool. So we do have some questions. Let me just open this up really quick. All right, perfect. All right, so that's why I wasn't able to hear you guys. You guys were filling it in, not in the chat function, but in the other function. All right, so let me see what we've got here. All right, so I'm going to grab Mike Koshigano. Let me see if I can unmute you. Hey, Mike, you there? Mike, can you hear me? Anyway, his microphone may not be working. So what I'll do is just I'll just answer the questions here. Is this similar to Constant Contact? Michael, I think you were talking about Mixmax. Is that correct? So if you are talking about Mixmax, it's not similar to Constant Contact. Constant Contact is email marketing, so you basically upload a list of people, you spend some graphic design dollars, and you basically do one email blast for everybody else. What Mixmax does is it allows you to email, when you're emailing in your email, let's say you're prospecting and things like that, and you're sending the same email, and changing just a few things in the email to prospects. Let's say you're pursuing, let's say you're selling office buildings. You're saying, hey, Mr. This, or you own the building or you lease the building. It allows you to just create those templates and save you time. So it basically works in your Outlook or your Gmail or any other mail application you've got. That's basically what it does. So let me see who, anybody else have questions? Go ahead and ask them in the, yeah. Okay, so Paul and Shafranik, I hope I didn't butcher that. Yes, we will be emailing a recording of the webinar, so you will have everything, and we'll be providing links as well. So Linda was asking me, do I pay for all these tools? So let me just do, so yes, I do actually. Some of them are free. So for example, I know Mixmax has a free tier. Calendly, I absolutely pay for. We did a test with Calendly. As you know, we sell software, so we have to make sure that not only when somebody's interested, we get them to commit to a meeting right away, because that way we can save a lot of time and energy going back and forth. And then our internal sales development team can actually say that they booked a meeting, right? Because that goes against their achievements and their goals for the month. So we notice a huge improvement in the ability to book meetings, and I happily pay. I think I pay like $20 or $30 or $40 for our team here at our company, and it's paid over in spades. So yeah, all of those I've gone ahead and done it. So all right, so tell me about SaneBox, Dave. I can tell you as much on all of this, and I can do that offline since since we talk quite a bit. So I'll let other people talk here if you don't mind. How does Digsy fit into all this? Mark, that's a very good question. So look, one thing at Digsy AI is we do remove some of the things that we provide some of these functionalities, not quite to the extent of that. We basically give you a single platform to do this. But the way that we like doing business and what we believe is we believe that sharing knowledge very generously, actually, being able to generously share knowledge with people like yourselves in sales actually creates not only trust, but when you see it paying off, you actually are more successful and you're able to attribute that to us. What we would like to do is, hey, if you're in sales, go ahead and check out www.digsy.ai and see if it fits your business, because our users absolutely are achieving more sales because of Digsy AI. But what we wanted to do is not turn this into a pitch for our business. We really wanted to drive value and content that you could drive huge value in return from. So thank you for asking that question. Alrighty, let me see if I can find another question here. Okay, great. So unless anybody has any questions, I'll go ahead and wrap up. So I'll give you guys just a couple seconds to submit another question. If not, we'll be disseminating the meeting in a recording. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, great. We are offering a free 14-day trial of Digsy.ai. It makes it a lot easier for you to keep track of your contacts and basically follow best sales practices and identify new sales practices that will help you land meetings and close more deals with your prospects. It doesn't replace CRM. What it does is it helps you generate those sales opportunities that you're able to drop into your CRM. But some users like David Perlmutter, who's actually on the webinar, who's a user, him and his company use it as their sole sales platform and contact management system. But what we do is we automate all of the data entry and metrics. And for sales leaders, you're able to see what your team is doing in real time and what's working, so that you can identify success patterns. So that means, hey, somebody who's making more calls and leaving more voicemail may be performing somebody that's just focusing on email. So we give you that visibility in real time without having to hound sales agents, but that's for the admin side. So with that being said, guys, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate your time. I will send out this presentation. I will also send out the video in the next day or so, and hopefully you're able to attend more of our webinars. We're going to have some great webinars in the next 2 weeks, actually, that we'll be announcing, so stay tuned for those. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, please email me at andrew@digsy.ai. If you guys want a demo of Digsy AI, fantastic. Would love to show it to you. There's a 14-day trial, like I mentioned, and also I forgot to mention that you guys get the platform. It's usually $49.99. You get it for $25 per user per month after your free trial if you guys sign up now. So anyway, I'll go ahead and let you guys go. Thank you so much, and I hope you guys start killing it in sales. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.